Right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Sorry, a little bit of a slow start this morning. Was in a I wasn't in a tournament. The boys had a tournament yesterday, so we were up at like 5 o'clock yesterday, and long day, cold day, lots of wind, and then obviously it's Monday morning, so everybody was dragging slow. Kip is, he's not sure if he wants to be grumpy or not grumpy yet, but yeah, he's been a little crazy. Um, All right, so we'll just dive into things. As far as movement goes, we're seeing some pound strength come back on the board. I think a little bit of it is also associated with the yen. Um, as far as the dollar right now, a little dollar weakness there, but a little dollar strength. I would say more or less flat. It popped high. A lot of question marks out there. We are seeing the dollar pull back a little bit. Again, we had such a huge rally last week from all the data. And overall, again, markets handling it okay. And I don't know if that's just the realization with the markets that is like, listen, we've raised it this high and, things are not horrible, right? They're not really bad yet, right? Um, I was thinking about today. It's like, we haven't, all the talk of a hard landing, soft landing, all that kind of stuff. Like, they're obviously we're getting it under somewhat control, right? It's not out of control, right? Um, Still rising. I mean, if the Fed did nothing at this point, would it get back to where it needs to be? Sure. It'll just take a long time to do it. So I think it's important to get it back there. And, it's obviously a fine line. But what I was thinking was, it's funny. Um, you know, we're close, right? There's world factors right now that are obviously helping the Fed. Um, and the Fed's not, I mean, again, we're not far. We're not really, really far from getting it back. I mean, we're going to hold rates for a while. So maybe the a while part is what will cause the problems down the road. But the question is, will the Fed get any credit for getting it under control, doing anything, right? We've seen polls. I mean, it's Biden's worst piece there. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you talk to. That the way that the economy is and he's handling the economy is horrible. Um, that's what the polls are saying. People are just you know not happy with anything as far as the polls go. He's got pretty low ratings, and again, not uncommon at this time in the presidency either. So, um, yeah, yeah. Now, the biggest kind of contagion to the markets right now is obviously Israel. Um, the U.S. said, China needs to get more involved. That they need to take which is odd because it's kind of the U.S. versus China, and the U.S. is like, you need to do more. You need to take a stand and drive them into politics. And again, China doesn't typically do that. And then China's like, yeah, we condone terrorism last week, and now this weekend, China has said that Israel is starting the borderline on going too far. That the attacks and things like that going into Gaza, if they occupy, they've gone way too far, and actually the opposite stance of what I think the U.S. is doing. And now Iran is also kind of echoing that the possible expansion of war is approaching inevitable stages. A lot of people out there really jumping on the side. I mean, there's a lot of people dying in Gaza. And again, I don't, as far as I've seen, like I said, I was at a tournament all day yesterday, so not really, you know, not up to date on all the most recent headlines. But I know they were stockpiling, and it was kind of like, do not cross that border. And then I guess last night on 60 Minutes, Biden made a comment about occupying Gaza would be obviously getting the terrorists. Yeah, you want to do that. But occupying it would be a bad move, would be the wrong decision. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's a very, ugh, yeah, it's a strange situation that a lot of people I just don't think understand. It's very, very hard to get a grip of what should happen, what can happen. Um, there's a lot of innocents, that are really getting drug into this whole thing. I think they have like, um, I don't know. I don't know if China, I don't know, if the Chinese president quoted or whatever, like 900 children have already lost their lives just in Gaza Strip already. So yeah, just crazy stuff. But obviously, that's a contagion that the world is obviously focused on. Yellen making comments this morning again. How often do we see Yellen with red comments? It's very, very rare. But basically, we cannot allow Ukraine to lose the war because of economic reasons. Um, which is kind of crazy, right? I mean, pretty much every European nation in the United States has like a blank check right now that they just keep sending the Ukraine, sending the Ukraine, sending the Ukraine, sending the Ukraine. And it's like, you talk, everything you see is about how, Russia's a bunch of bumbling idiots and they're sending stuff in made in the 70s and stuff like that. And it's like the amount of money that all the allies have sent towards the Ukraine, like how, we cannot allow Ukraine to lose the war for economic reasons. Really? I mean, how much more has been pumped in than what Russia has? I mean, we've tried to stifle their earning ability, their weapons ability, like where, to what end? Because remember, everything that we're sending to Ukraine here is not allowed to be used to go into Russia. So it's not like you're going to go, the Ukraine is allowed to go over and make sure that Russia can never build a military again, right? That's directly against all the agreements. So they can't. I mean, none of the tanks that are sent in from the United States or any of the equipment sent in is allowed to go and be proactive going into Russia. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird statement. It's like, I mean, it just makes you wonder, like, what's the truth? What is the real situation over there? Like, how are they losing the war when all we hear is about how Russia's idiots and all the the Ukraine is doing is just they're taking it all back. They've taken it all back, right? And they're even getting Crimea back. So I don't know, crazy. But again, we're dealing with two different fronts, and then obviously China at any moment could really jump over and you know the whole Taiwan situation, right? So could potentially be three different areas. So kind of crazy, right? We got a bunch of people speaking today. Harker speaking today, talking about talking with mortgage. Again, this is not a discussion that he wants, right? Right? Due to speak at the economic outlook at the Mortgage Bankers Association. Mortgages are insane. They're close to 8%. Yeah. So the mortgage, yeah, this is gonna be one of those ones. It's like when you say you're gonna hold it here for a long period of time, what exactly do you mean by that? Because again, mortgage wise, it's like, what? You're gonna do what? You're gonna keep mortgage rates really high? Ugh. Right? Because that long term, that's not great for their money making, right? They want to do lots of mortgages, right? They don't want to keep rates really, really high and have less people taking up mortgages. So, yeah. And then at 4:30 today, Harker speaking again, talking about a National Association of Corporate Directors. Man, we'll see if we get anything from that. Now tonight, CPI quarterly basis, New Zealand. That's quite a nice little jump there, right? 0.8%. So again, a lot of these nations that have stopped, they're starting to see inflation rise again. And then we have Aussie monetary policy meeting notes, right? Their version of FOMC. We'll see what the Aussie dollar does today, but I think there could be definitely some movement from that. It has the potential to be a market mover, particularly at 9:30 at night. Um, Again, there's not a lot of other influence at that time, but we'll see. Um, I think again, the biggest thing for me market wise is really this. China basically saying that Israel has now gone too far, and now Iran basically saying possible expansion of the war is approaching an inevitable stage. Um, Again, the United States is going over there to stop them. But if Iran says, if you go stomp, if you send occupation troops into Gaza, we're coming in. The United States is not going to comment like, yeah, they can't go too far. It's like, well, what's too far? Are you still going to back Israel if they do? What if we tell Israel no when they do it? Are you going to still back them up, or are you not? And then can you really, if they do something that you don't want them to do, and Iran's like, if you do it, we're going to war, and Israel says we don't care, we're backed by the United States. What do you do, right? Big conundrum, right? So I think that's the biggest thing out there for the markets. Again, war is great for the economy. Economy. Wars don't or wartime economies do great. But this is what nobody wants. But it seems like it's coming there. So yeah, lots of drama out there with that. Tomorrow, fair amount of news tomorrow, right? We have some retail sales. Is the spender still spending, or are we starting to head towards some type of a landing? We have unemployment claim accounts in the UK early on, economic sentiment, which is negative, but supposed to not be as negative. CPI, right, on a monthly basis. And again, CPI is not as important, but it's the headline number. Expected to be lower, right, on a monthly basis. On a yearly basis, though, excuse me, on a yearly basis, pretty much flat. But on month to month basis, definitely coming down, which just shows that there's a lot of fluctuation in those yearly numbers. But again, if you're looking for 2.5, and it's still 4, you're still over double, right? The common over double, 4.7. So yeah, retail sales in the US, I think, is going to be kind of an important piece for the indices tomorrow. And we've just been green, 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 green. Seeing retail sales dropping that much from what it was prior. And again, obviously the months matter. Kind of hurts a little bit, right? But both of them are not there. Maybe there'll be a surprise and they both are higher than expected. Again, that would be another one of those signs that would be kind of more strong dollar. So, may provide a little bit of retracement back in the markets. But we'll talk from now to, or we won't talk from now till then. But after that, we have, obviously industrial production that kind of slows down for the day. So overall, kind of a standard kind of Monday out there right now. Hold on one sec. We're trying to coordinate. Okay. Sorry, I have like 12 conversations going on right now. Okay, sorry. I love when people like you send a message and it's like urgent on Friday, and then they left early, and then they're responding today. It's like I've already done it. Um, All right, so VIX wise, VIX pulling back down, and again, it's nice to see the VIX not gap up over a weekend, even with everything going on. I mean, we have basically almost three war fronts going on, almost three, right? It's currently one and a half, right? We could have a potential third jump in at any time, right? Seeing the VIX pull back down is nice. Again, the dollar pulling back a little bit, and again, after the spike last week, you can see there's the Thursday shock, and then again, we started to pull back on Friday after about that 11 o'clock time frame. We knew we had some selling up there, and it's just pulling back. Now, again, if this was any other chart besides the dollar index, I would say, hey, listen, right there. Look, we've already been down there. We pushed it deep again. We're hitting it again. Obviously, we're trending back down again. There's a big push up from the news, pushing back down to 105.60. But it is a little bit different. Typically in the overnights on Sundays, we tend to see dollar weakness roll in. And then when the U.S. market opens up and is live, we tend to see a little bit more movement in the opposite direction. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Is it a really, really clean? Like, is there great shorts up in here? No, I mean, I would just say, again, this is the standard. There's not a whole lot of U.S. influence. And then all of a sudden, the U.S. influence steps in at 9:30, and we start to see it kind of push back up again. So we'll see. I mean, news-wise, there's not a lot out there. Again, if Harker speaks and people are trying to pull things apart, I'm sure he's going to tell the Mortgage Association, when we say we're going to hold it here for quite some time, it's not as long as you think, right? Right? Not going to be that long, right? It's working. Right, because you don't want to tell you don't want to tell these guys, hey, when we mean that, we mean we're going to have super high interest rates for the next year. So don't book any vacations, right? Um, so yeah, so that's where we are. Indices currently right now all in the green, and honestly, I mean, again, the data that we've seen, at this point, it doesn't look like there's any type of landing. It seems like there's slowdowns, and we'll see where we go with retail sales. Again, if we have all green today, it is kind of setting up a retail sales miss tomorrow. Excuse me. I'm probably going to yawn multiple times today. I apologize. I hate that it happens. But yeah, I'm so sleep deprived from yesterday waking up that early. It's kind of it's just yeah, I'm definitely behind on my sleep. And then obviously Kip was up early today too, just to add insult to injury. So all indices in the green. I don't think there's any. I mean, again, anything that we've seen out here, nothing super worried. Again, seeing China's growth slowing, a lot of people are looking at this. I read an article this morning talking about how the dynasty of China is over. Right, the era is done. That they were so focused, but now they have changed, and it's honestly it's kind of a scary change, right? They were all about economic growth, economic growth, economic growth, and now they're about security, technology, and security. It's like, okay, you went crazy with your industry, and now you're preparing for war. Okay, um, definitely a different approach or different kind of like a completely shift in gears. Um, but again, in the United States, when we see weaker China, we also see more positive dollars. So, um, eh, it is what it is. So any issue there. Now, commodities. Dollar is actually down, and we're seeing all the commodities down a little bit. Oil, again, pulling back just a smidge. It's down, 0.3. We're still at 87. It's like, oh, I will say, Waze actually, there was a big accident there on a bridge. There was two lanes closed down, so Waze diverted me and brought me around somewhere else. And when I was on that path somewhere else, there was I don't know who, I don't forget what the name of what gas station it was. Anyway, it was one I knew, but it wasn't like one of the big, like two or three. They had gas for 30. Oh, it was BP. Because they have those like rewards or whatever for like the ROFRO rewards or whatever the heck it is. 309 is what you could get gas for. I was like, 309. I love this. This is awesome. Um, so yeah, 309. That was awesome. I think that's great. Natural gas also down 5% today. So natural gas finally pulling back, which is crazy because it's like 51 degrees outside. I'm still fighting the like I'm not turning the heater on. I'm like, wear a sweatshirt, you'll live. You know. My kids are like, Dad, do I have to wear a sweatshirt today? I'm like, yeah, I'm not turning the heat on. It's only 51, right? We hit 51 in the spring. You're wearing shorts, so you can wear a sweatshirt now, right? So, I'm not going to do it. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to turn the heater on. But again, seeing that down is awesome. Gold and silver also. I mean, gold down $13, back down to 1919, actually 1919. We just broke through it. So that's down big. And then again, silver more flat, right? Down at minus 0.04 right now. Still holding that 2270. So I think silver's high right now. Gold's kind of what? I'm not doing this. No, you're not getting any of this stuff. No, not touching any of it. You want to go in the other room by yourself? Hey, you want to get down? All right, go ahead, get down. Here you go. You can get down. There you go. Okay, he's stomping in the other room by himself. He wants something. Um, so silver, I think, is still way too high right now, but it is starting to accelerate. You're seeing it was barely at point zero. Now we're at point two, so it is accelerating to the downside, and a lot of that probably the dollar strength coming back into the market again. U.S. session, so um, it's where we roll. All right, so Aussie. So Aussie Friday, you can see that we talked about this. 63 area. You can see that that 10:30 time frame is where we were hitting it, and it kind of put that the green red green reversal in. We knew that it could do something. The question was, would there be enough time before the market closed? The market closed right here. So I mean, from that area, you talked about 8 pips, and then the rest of this move. It looks like it's a really big move, but from where the Sunday open was, we're only about 14 pips. At a peak, it's only about 25. So it's running into where it should. It's got an area right here that we formed last week, right? Big drop, and you can see it's a green kind of hitting there. We talked about it last week. We hit it, we hit it, we hit it, we hit it. We're riding there. So, this is one of those ones that we do pop out the top side. I think we have the potential for more of a Harry Potter trade, and this could be something that we look at to maybe potentially for tonight. Right there, right? Maybe the Aussie makes some type of a statement. Let's go back here. Maybe tonight with the meeting notes, we talk about how there could be additional rate. Anything that right now we're seeing a little bit of a creep up. We're going to follow the data, but there could be the potential for one more raise this year. Any type of statement that's even remotely slightly hawkish, I think jacks this one and sends it higher. So, you know, I think the trade setup is there. Again, the risk level in this one, very defined zone that we can use. Actually, this is a little bit too big. You're talking about 12 pips, right? It's actually right there. Let me get it in the right spot. 62.38. Okay. I heard you. Oh, you went for the tablet. Like went and collapsed behind me. What are you doing? So right now, again, running into all those sellers. It's not a very strong area of sellers, but again, coming in at a U.S. session open, you'll tend to see this kind of reverse back to the downside, and that's what it's doing, right? It's just kind of rolling and coming back down. We'll see if we can start. If again we run out of this dollar rally very very quickly, a break above 60.38 pops up, basis pulls back, and then we push higher. Because again, there is no sellers really over here until we get much higher up to 64. Okay. Also, yeah, looks very, very similar. And again, if I bring this across, you can see we kind of came up, found them here. We're kind of just chopping sideways. We're trying to see if we're going to get Aussie strength coming in. It's got room to run and break through, right? So we have the break, and we were talking about this week if we could kind of open up here and we pop through in the morning hours, get a little bit of yen movement from the U.S. Open to go, but we're a little bit farther down. What are we? 15 pips out of that zone. So we're kind of hoping that this was happening here. This right here, I mean, if I could screenshot this piece right here, this is exactly what I wanted, but I wanted it here. So then we could start from the US Open popping up and going. So we're just a little bit off right now. Right, we're just a little bit off from where I wanted this at, but it looks very, very similar. And again, it's an Aussie strength based move. Doesn't matter who it's paired against. Okay. Here's where we are with the dollar. You can see Friday we were out of these trades. 10:30 was really the bottom. We had a green, we had a green. I'm sorry, a green, a red that didn't go as low, and then a green closed just above. A little bit of a pullback, and then we just continued to surge through. But this all happened on Sunday, so we can take this trade out. Let's bring this across. Let's see, is it close to anything? It'd be nice if this went actually in touch. If this touched the zone, look at that. If it touched the zone here, right? If we brought it all the way down to the buyers, now the zone becomes backstopped, but it's a little bit shy. Profit target got hit, right? The green and the black and the green, and you can see we base through. It's kind of using it right now. Not going to use it for a zone anymore. It grabbed. It literally grabbed the buyers. Same thing. Sunday's here. Dollar weakness, dollar weakness, dollar weakness, dollar weakness, dollar weakness. U.S. market opens and it starts to pull back. You can see here. Look. Safe haven dollar steady near 1 week high on Middle East conflict. So again, just another one of those reasons why it's kind of moving. We can mark this one off. It's not the worst trade. I don't think we're gonna hit it. Maybe we hit it later today. What I kind of want to see I kind of would like this to come down and maybe find the buyers down here, and then if it pushes up, we take the trade here, right? We take the trade here, something more along those lines. Just because if we hit it now, we know we have basing, so there's not really a 1 to 3 space from here down. Um, I mean, ideally, we want to make sure when we set up a trade that we have room to run at least 1 to 3, right? Stacks the odds in our favor in the best possible way. Um, it's just not. If it does now, if there's not, and again, if this is the turning point, it's showing in this. There's still buyers down here. We just don't have the 1 to 3. So if we go down and then kind of rally up a little bit cleaner, and again, maybe obviously with this over here, the economic sentiment, maybe this is what it looks like, right? Maybe it's here and then the bottom comes there. So maybe that's what we're looking more of. Again, dollar strength rolling in as a safe haven. The world doesn't end today, and then we see it kind of push back up, with some help from this European move. And then the European data comes out, or the US data for retail sales comes out, right? Maybe it's not zero point 0.3, maybe it's 0.5, and then that drives it straight back down again. But as far as is it in a tradable spot right now? No, I mean, I know it's in an uptrend, but we're starting to see again a green, red, green, but this red now has broken both through, so we're broken levels of kind of buyers coming in. Obviously, there's more here, but again, this is super late last night. Tends not to be major movers there. So, yeah, yeah. All right, euro pound. All right, so euro pound. We were talking about this. I missed it by a little bit. Looks like it came up at 6 o'clock. I had it coming up at 10 o'clock, and again, it doesn't actually make sense for. I don't remember which one I drew this one. I wouldn't have used the 10 o'clock. I would have used the 5:30. That's their thing. So had I actually drawn it correctly, it would have been here and would have been here, right? The 5:30 window, right? Because 5:30 is their 10 with their 3 o'clock open. So missed it by a little bit. I don't know why I put it at 10. 10 really didn't make any sense. I'm not sure why I did it there, but it is what it is. It's supposed to be 5:30. Um, with the pound data, and again the claim account tomorrow, I think this rolls back down again. Doesn't look like the European economic sentiment is awesome, right? Again, Germany, the data was really kind of crappy last week with the recession, and if it's bad in Germany, I would envision that it is bad in other places too. We just don't know it yet. Um, you know, Germany's a really big piece of the euro, right? So the economic sentiment for them, it does matter. It does matter. The unfortunate part about this one is we knew that we had a lot of these steps. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see this one here missed by a little bit. Then this one came up and grabbed this one and pushed back down. This one came up and it grabbed this one and then went back down again. And the next question is it going to come up and grab this level here next, right? Because I mean, this is what we've seen, right? I'm trying to get it as flat as we can, right? You can see boom, down, boom, down. So we push back up. Will we push all the way back down again, or will this be would that have been the strong level pushing to the downside? Even in this one, you can see that there was a bit of red right in here, right here down, and these two are very, very close. So as far as where we go with this now, or what is the sentiment that we have in this one? Its daily ATR right now is down to 33. It was hovering right around that 40 mark, 38 mark, 37 mark. We're down to 33 and a half. So yeah, we're getting down really, really low on this one. We're kind of sitting in the middle of the the two opposing factors. We know we got strong buyers down here. They were here, and then it came down and supported again. And on the top side, again, it rallied up, fought, hit 87, and then boom, got slammed to the downside. We're kind of skirting right down the middle. So, which one is it? Is this one a more bullish? Is it more bearish? What's the bias? And right now, I would say this is more of a neutral bias. I mean, I think the data out there right now, there's more pound data because again, the pound really hasn't a ton of data lately. But overall, I think the pound has been so beaten up. I really think that the European Union is more on the weaker side. So we're in the middle. There's no, that's it. This is the weak one. This is the one that you're going to use. Right now, being in the middle where we are, I'd say that this one you got to play it more neutral. Right. Looking at the chart again, because we're starting to make, kind of lower lows on this one. Again, this is a high we start to push. Yeah, I think we're pushing back down to this 50 level, and this is down here, what, 86.20 ish, right? 23, yeah, 86.20 is kind of where I would say overall, I could see this one really trying to come down to this 86.20 ish area. Okay. And again, does it have to be here Monday at 1:30? No. It can be probably more drawn out, right? That's Monday of next week. I don't think it takes all week to get there. I think it could probably get there by Friday. Friday would be actually more like over here. Okay. Euro yen. So euro yen, really since the European Open, or actually I guess late last night, it did rally back up again, and now we'll see with the U.S. coming online. Safe haven dollar, yeah. Middle East keeps a dollar elevated. Safe haven bids, dollar off highs remains, yeah. So three articles, basically all the same thing. Rate jitters and safe haven, right? Have put it higher. So again, it kind of ran out of steam Friday, and we kind of knew that it was going to run out. Again, we knew this. We marked this whole area like because it spikes. Very hard area to determine where to go long from. No clean flat zone, right? And again, typically we want to take the clean flat zones. There's no point in trying to guesstimate with a subpar zone. There tends to be another trade out there. You don't ever want to feel forced and be like, I can't find anything, so I'm going to take this one. No, you don't do it that way. Only take it when it's there, right? It's better not to force a trade. You know, if you're guessing, it means that there's probably nothing there, right? You're seeing something that's not there. So where we are right now, obviously there's a lot going on right here, right? The 158 mark, we knew that. Again, pulling back from where the highs were. Let's see, is there any magical zones here? Yeah, the 61.8 is the same thing. 50, there's nothing, so I wouldn't even be concerned about a halfway back here. But 158, again, that's where the last confirmation came in. So right now, it is a 61.8 pullback, which is a popular FID number. It's also an area where it's a confirmed level. We had the selling in here, and this rally kind of... Ow! Get out. Go. My foot is not meant for the bulldozer. Go. Yeah, you push my shoe around. Yeah, push the shoe, not my toes. He's on a big construction truck thing. So I think that's a decent level. So look for that one. Again, 158 we know is big. And we do have a level sitting there for basing. So, if this continues its trend, what do we need? Another 34 pips. So it's got about a 4-hour ATR for that one to turn in there. So, yeah. I think that's what we're looking for. Right. And again, that's the only zone. And again, throw in the 158, throw in the 61.8. And then again, the reversal from really, I guess, from Sunday night on. Three factors why you want to be in that trade. Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. It did move down a little bit more. We are looking for just a bit more, and it didn't quite get there. It's kind of trying. I mean, again, there's a zone there. It's trying to turn off of it and push back down again. And again, I would say that this is the standard weekend. Dollar weakness until the U.S. market opens, and then when the U.S. market opens, then you start to see this pushing back down again. So, I think this is going to have to chop through. We do have a Harry Potter trade. Again, for those of you that know what that is, we're looking for this one to kind of come through the 120-106 area. It's heading that direction right now, right? We got about another 36 pips. It's got a 35.9 pip 4-hour ATR. So again, looking for that one to continue to push lower, I think is good. This guy anymore. That was from a 15-minute. That's why it was purple. I'm gonna leave this one on, but I don't think we hold on that one again. I'm just trying to see if that offers a front run off of 50. We do have see the 15-minute right there. Yeah, I think wait for it to come down. We can get some basing in here. So it's going to have to cut through this. Oops. Going to have to cut through that, right? This area here, right? It's going to have to cut through that. So it potentially could come down and bounce first. But if we're going to have pure dollar strength, today, look for this to come through, break, and go lower. Yeah, I think look for the short. Again, not interested in any of the buys in here. Again, I don't think I'm going to go counter dollar today because again, if something does happen, I do know last week They were talking about, it would take 7 to 10 days. And it was like Sunday night, Monday was when Israel should be not only have enough forces, but be prepared. And the question is whether or not they're going to listen to the US and other countries out there, or will they roll in? Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like today or tomorrow, I think is the day that if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. They were dropping pamphlets all weekend. And then like even the WHO or whatever was like, they made a comment that there's no way you're evacuating, 1.5 million people in 24 hours. They're like, the fact that they even said that is unbelievable. But yeah, it's impossible, is what the World Health Organization said. Um, yeah, it's impossible to evacuate that many people on two streets, right? Two streets. Yeah, they're two quarters out. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully they don't go more, and hopefully more people are not dying. But if they do cross, this should slice right through. So maybe this come down and look, but yeah, I think look for a break of 120.105, 120.07 pound. All right, so let's run some fibs on this one. It's a good push, and then obviously Friday at 1 o'clock we ran out of steam, and then obviously Sunday it's just been pushing up, and now we're hitting a little bit here. So let's see, let's run this from the top and see what we got. You can see like the 23 was like, man, 23 what? It went and grabbed zones. So it didn't quite backstop it. Again, looking for reversals today. This one is kind of following the same route where we're seeing everything push up. It's running into some problems right now. There are some sellers sitting in there. Unfortunately, again, we mentioned last week, it's very hard when there's a base here and a pop, and then it comes back down and grabs that base, and then it comes back and grabs that base. So it's one of those ones. It's like, is it a great buy zone? No. I mean, there's your base, right? There's your confirmation touch coming off of it. And that's what we ran into, right? But we hit it again and we hit it again, and we're pretty deep. This is hit number 3. So do you want to take a long off that one? Typically not the best idea to do that. So I'd be looking more for a short. Now we are kind of changing trajectory this week thus far, but we kind of have, pound weakening versus the dollar. We got some pound news coming in. It'd be nice if we were up here, and a lot of the yen pairs are all in the same spot. Definitely saw some yen weakness at the end of last week. So is it the same news? Yeah, it's the same news. It's a little bit different. I still think that's a valid short. 182.35. Yeah, it wouldn't be that fast. It'd be like over here. If we can mess around until then, I would be okay with this, right? And what that would signify is basically this, right? Being worse, right? So instead of 2.3, it's like 8, right? Um, Again, if this goes at 4.4, 4.5, that should be enough weakness. Not that I think the UK, but this way, I don't think there's any chance in heck that the UK is raising one more time. I think their last one was it. I think they're at a stage where they're like, we're in a recession. It's going to be, mild recession, whatever. I don't think that the UK can sustain as much, right? I think their last one was probably it. But if the unemployment rate goes up for the UK, which actually would not surprise me at all, I do think this is a nice little trade. So the problem with it is we are so close right now. We're only 35 pips away. It's got a 50 pip ATR. So unless we really start to shop back and forth, we gotta go 18 hours or something like that. Till tomorrow morning. It's I feel like it'll hit maybe a little bit sooner. But again, nice response to it. Strong push down, came up 2 candles, boom, right back down again. So definitely some sellers sitting there. And the zone is actually not that big. I know a lot of times we look at these and it's like, holy crap, that's a big zone. It's 15 pips. 15 pips for the pound yen. That's not a bad zone, right? That's pretty small. You guys know I love 10 for 30, but 15 for 45s or 15 for 50s, not bad with something like the pound yen that will move 143 pips in a day, right? Got a 50 pip ATR. It's a 4-hour profit target, right? That's not bad, right, for the pound yen. Dollar CAD continuing to push. So we're looking for a Harry Potter trade here. You can see there was actually, it looks like Monday at 1:30 and then Monday at 4. Both those positions came back up and were able to hit. Obviously, over here, late last night is Sunday, is when it first pushed in. But remember, we need the drop. Actually, I mean, most times, actually, hold on. Delete this first. Most times, what we like to see is some type of basing. Then we need a drop, a base, and a pullback, and that's when we take it short and we go. And that's here, let's make this the solid one, right? And that's what we got. So there doesn't really count, but there's where your base is. And actually, this one came down to here before pulling back up. So again, whether you took it there or it could be here or there, either one of them is fine, and the trade is done. Right? The trade actually got out this morning. Oh, it's 8. I thought it was at 6 for some reason. I've written 6 down. I don't know why 8. Maybe on a different chart. But anyway, there's your trade from last week that we talked about on Friday, looking going into the week. So not the worst one, right? Again, all the basing, all the basing, all the basing, all the basing. Sunday night happened and it started to push down, and then again, entry here, entry here, entry here, and all the way down. So you're good either way. It's 11 for 35. Not a bad way to wake up this morning. Again, I don't know why I had 6 on my brain for this one. It's definitely 8. Huh. I wonder if I changed the target on that one. Anyway, where this one's coming down to, again, I'd be very cautious when we start hitting this level right here. Again, that's where buyers stepped in the back. So if you are short and you wanted to hold this one a little bit longer, I think it does have a little bit more room to run down, about another 15, 16 pips. But at this point, again, we always plan for the 1 to 3 and then start to really kind of watch it. You're obviously past your target point at this point by a little bit, right? We're probably up, I don't know, 40 pip profit right now. But again, nice little Harry Potter, trying to take advantage of an area that we hit multiple times and then started the basin on Friday. So yeah, that one's done. Dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss had the big push. We saw some basing here, but it never pulled back. It went all the way down and came down to the 90 profit target. It was actually 90.072. So just a little bit off. But that's again, we're looking for big numbers. So kind of where the artificial bottom is. This is from last week, so we'll take that off. Still bottom is folding firm. The poor 23 traders on Thursday. Let's pull this guy off. Let's still maintain this one, although it's a little higher. This I don't need anymore. Now remember, this one when you look at it, you're like, why? Wait, why is the dollar not? Wait a sec. Why is this weak? Why? What happened? Wait, what's going on? Remember, this is the Swiss, right? So yes, the dollar is a safe haven, but people typically put their money with the Swiss. Historically, they put their money with the Swiss because of the neutrality of the country. Officially now, they no longer truly have that status anymore because they did not actually maintain neutrality with Russia. They actually were involved with sanctions and things like that as well. So they've actually officially lost that neutrality status. They just don't have it anymore. So but again, you're still seeing kind of old habits die hard. I would say right now this one not really tradable much. I mean, it's funny. The dollar Swiss has a 67 pip 4 hour or daily ATR, where the euro pound is a 35 or 33. So right now, I'd say we're kind of boxed in. I don't like the bottom section here. I would say if anything, we've already hit it once, but the 89.93 gives us a good area. If we can get ourselves down there, it would be like a 36 pips, so not quite a full day's worth of movement, but again, it is Monday. In preparation for the retail sales data, that may actually give us a good opportunity to go long if we're sitting down there. Right now, yeah, there's buyers here, but it's kind of hit them and hit them and hit them and went a little bit deeper. Not at the bottom yet, but if it does break through that, then we're running into this and all three of these sitting right here. So it's definitely got a lot. It's got a chunk through, and this may be one of those ones where you come down and we play back and forth and here, and then we come down and then we play back and forth, and then we're sitting there, right? It could look like something like that, right? Grinding through these buyers, then we come down and we have to grind through these buyers just in time to get down. So, you know, if nothing happens, that's probably what we see in here. Because again, we've had the strong dollar push. We should see some profit taking from that. The problem is going to be if Iran gets involved. I know I guess the Aleppo, if that's how you say it, Aleppo. They destroyed the airport at Aleppo. Not destroyed it, but like they just fixed the runway from rockets last week, and then they blew it up again this morning or last night or something like that again. So yeah, it's just blowing up airports all over the place. Um, Big question will be this one: if that does happen, who are we seeing the strength going to? I actually think that if something does happen, of these two, yes, people are everybody loves to talk about the dollar safe haven. I think the dollar's in a I think the US dollar's in a really, really hard spot. I think the Swiss will benefit from that the most. Only because again, everybody's already starting to say, hey, there's a difference between defense and pushing it too far, and you're starting the borderline on the too far part. I mean, the United States is, I mean, Biden made the comment last night as well that they shouldn't do certain things. If they just decide to do certain things in the name of self defense, puts puts Biden and the U.S. in a very difficult situation, right? To where people may not want, safe haven may not want to go that way if the U.S. is going to get brought into war. It may be more of a Swiss benefit. So, and we'll see how that one unfolds. But I do, if we can be over here for news tomorrow, I think this could be a decent trade. These are the type of trade setups that you really, really like in the Swiss. Now, the dollar yen, really no movement. We're sitting back up here at, again, 149.07. You can see that it kind of drove back a little bit and there was a little bit of a gap. And then again, US push high. We're sitting up here. We're not, I mean, I guess we're 30 pips away from like kind of where intervention happens, but it really needs to break 150. So, is it guaranteed to happen again? No. With everything going on, whoops, where's that? All right. We've had our opening morning surge. The question is, will we stabilize here? Are we just going to profit take it and then continue to go higher? Or will we start to run out of steam here? Right? Will we start to run out of steam? And again, if things start to dissipate a little bit, right? Remember, right now, some of this has been rate hikes. And then again, it was kind of like, oh, we're going to our peak on Friday because of everything. We've really seen a pullback in the dollar. So, everything is the safe haven with it. Everybody's going to the dollar, right? It's already starting to pull back. If the situation in the Middle East starts to lessen, dissipate, etc. You wouldn't need that safe haven play you would pull the strength out of that one. So if we're already starting to see a pullback, it is setting up for more of a weak based trade. So although this is still playing around in this upper area, and again, this is a justified move, the data that we saw, if it's losing the reasons why the safe haven, this could start to roll. Now, again, if it gets more, yes, it could be punched higher. We do know that again, they intervened or they didn't intervene, right? There's a lot of comments back and forth, but I think yeah, I have to say dollar yen, I'm a bit more bearish, right? A bit more bearish. Is there anything I want to sell out of here? Nah, I mean it chopped through, hit it. This will be hit number 3, so not quite an area where we're like, that's it, pull the trigger, love it. I think the dollar yen right now has got a lot going on, a lot of proxies, and I think there's a lot easier things out there, right? I hate geopolitical events. There's one of those things that they're not predictable. People are like, look at this trade. It's like, yeah, you got lucky, right? You didn't know that, somebody was going to do that. It's like insider trading. People are like, oh, look at this trade. It was great. It's like, well, if there wasn't that type of announcement, would you have made that much money? No, you wouldn't have. Did you know it was happening? If the answer is yes, then that's insider trading. It's illegal. And if the answer is no, that means it was luck. So yeah, I think this one is under the same thing, right? Bank interventions can't predict, right? U.S. being a safe haven because of war can't predict, right? Surprised everybody. If it dissipates, puts it back in line, great. I think this one turns and rolls the other direction. Again, it has the proxy aspect of the yen, which is quite strong right now. So yeah, let's go across. Look at oil. So oil down 1%. You can see we kind of had the spike up, and then again a little bit early, but 8:30 is typically the futures market comes online. We had marked that area off. We knew that the 50 was sitting right up there. You can see it just peaked above the 50. There is a base there, right? A drop, a base, and then strong push down right at the 50, and that's what it hit. I mean, it was like chop, 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 chop. Hit it right at the 50, and here I'll bring it across. You can see, right there. What did it do? Peaked its head right above the 50, and it just happens to be right in the middle of that zone, and then turned and straight to the downside. Love it. Keep going, baby. Go all the way down here to 82. Love it. Love it. But we knew we had sellers and it needed just a little bit more help, but we knew we didn't have much room in the top side. So again, a lot of emphasis on this one. This is another one right now that again, I think again, China seeing slowed growth obviously is a huge fundamental factor in this one. Not seeing the same levels of demand, obviously very, very big. Very, very important to keep this one down. The Middle East is, I think, the only thing that's keeping it up. But thus far, we have not seen anything that has basically made this one worse. Haven't seen sanctions. Now, question is, if Iran says Israel, if you do it, we're gonna do this as well. I don't think Israel will back down from a threat like that from Iran. Um, if they do, the question is, okay, what happens with the oil market then? I know that the news from China that I talked about is actually conversation that came from China meeting with Saudi Arabia. So I don't know if Saudi Arabia is shaking their head, yep, we agree, or it was just kind of reporting that, yeah, China's not really happy and thinks they've gone too far. Um, yeah, don't know. But overall, where crude is right now, again, pulling back up at the 50. Great little trade setup. Great little move in the overnight or in the morning, this morning thus far. There is buyers coming in right where it is now. So we'll see if we can clear that. But if we do break below 8570 ish, looks like we can get a push all the way down to the 83 mark. We don't have a lot of buyers in there with no pullback. So we do actually, it's not a bad, again, not necessarily saying, hey, listen, we're Harry Pottering off of this one, but I definitely think we're going to have some problems slicing through this area right here. But after that, you can see that we kind of have this type of setup here where it's like, hey, listen, if we come down here in base, if we can break the buyers here, can we go 1 to 3 here? I mean, profit target should be something along those lines, right? So, yeah. Um, yeah, so I think again, any basing in here, nothing crazy happens today. I think we have the ability to push down. It'd be awesome to get an 83. That's a big move. I mean, we're at 1.5% right now. This may be a 2 day move. We may bounce off the top of this one, start shopping, and then it could be maybe a push down tomorrow on this one. Got the contract switch again. Leg it bearish. Not interested in taking it for long. Although if it does bounce, I'm not going to be surprised at all. It's not a horrible. Hold on, let me see. Again, very technical traded market. It's backstop by the 50. So, eh. Good thing there's no at 61.8. The backstop there is kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if it comes down bases for a little bit and then starts to, again, strong push to the downside if we start to bounce off the top of that one. Again, it is a level. If it's going to reverse, that's where it's going to do it at. Again, there's a little hiccup here and you're seeing a chop. I think it breaks through there. I think it probably bounces off this one, maybe one time. But I think this is one of those ones you kind of keep on your radar and say, hey, the next time the price does come down here, if we get a base anywhere inside of this range, right? And we can, and if we break like 85.35-ish mark in here, we got to run down and we could have a potential push all the way down to this level right here, all the way down to 84, right? All right, natural gas. All right. So we talked about a break, 315. All right. So we talked about coming through and how funny is this, right? We gapped into that zone. We pulled down and based right at where this level was, the 315, 314, and then it pulled back and boom. So kind of funny. We just drew this pattern, right? I don't know if I can, I don't think I can copy paste. Is it done? Yeah, it's done. I don't know where it was and which one of these, right? We talked about it. We want basing. We wanted to come down. We wanted the base, base. We wanted to come up and then it goes down. That was the pattern we drew over there. And it's funny that that's exactly what happened. There it is, right? We started in there. That's where the base came. So yeah, natural gas is good. So natural gas, we did talk about being on a breakthrough there and getting prices down into the potentially 295 is where the actual target is. There is some buying just a little bit early though. There is some buying down here. There's a little bit right around the 3, right? Look at this level right here, right? And that comes in right at 301, so about 5 cents more. Um, so we are going to probably run into some buying around that three mark. We've marked this off in the past, but the nice thing is, again, we were talking about that little forever last week. We closed really close to it, and then we ended up using this week. So nice run to the downside. Love this one. Again, get us down to like those 290s again. I think that's an awesome place to be. So yeah, definitely because I need to fill the tank up too. So it's like go down back down to 290. I'm good with that one. If you want to jump down to like 220 just for like a week, that would be awesome too. I could definitely handle that. But I'll take 290. Right? Better than the 350. Um, Gold. So again, gold ended up here high on Friday, and then Sunday we started to push back down again. There was definitely an area of buyer sitting right in here, and that's what we ran into. And again, this is more of a we started to pull back and load up, and then again, European session opened right on an area of buyers, and we pulled back up. Um, you can see we are putting lower highs in right now. So the question is, will we turn and fail through this one? And are we going to be looking at something along those lines? 1 to 3 is right there, right? So looks like 1885 is the potential target for this one. I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce off of it again. And again, we may need some news to kind of derail this one and send this one lower. Um, um, see you. All right. So yeah, I think gold comes down and probably chops back and forth. Again, people will try to figure out what's going on. Again, gold acts as a little bit of flight to safety as well too. It is associated with the dollar, so a pullback should help. Again, a lot of this will come back to what's going on with inflation. Is it under control? Is it moving in the right direction? Again, we're holding rates here a long time. Is inflation? Are they going to be weak about raising it again? Like, are they scared to raise it again? Will they still raise it again? All those are big factors that comes off. So I do think it probably pulls back down, and again, I think we can potentially break 1900 this week. So that's a decent spot to be in. Silver, again, it should be double what gold is. It's you can see, look at the struggle in this one. A lot of wicks in this one. Look at this morning, right? From really 3 o'clock on, wick. People are like not sure what the heck to do with it. We ended up tagging at 1 o'clock last week. The 2275 is the level that we had talked about. And you can see we hit it and kind of put the red in here. It came up and touched it and then pushed down in the overnight. Actually, this is a midnight and we pushed back down into buyers. Unfortunately, this one is not super clean. Again, you got these big kind of weird spikes up and down. It's in an area I would say right now more bearish silver. It looks like it wants to turn and roll back to the downside, but it's got a bunch of people to chunk through. It should be double what gold is. It should be down 1.5%, not down 0.13. So if gold holds and maintains, this one should start to kind of push back down into the 22 mark. I do think we have some hiccups down here at this 2310 ish. Um, Yeah, we're in an area of sellers, but I don't think I'm going to pull a trigger on any of them right here. Again, we've hit it. So multiple hits through. Did it move its 1 to 3 already? And again, this is not one of those trades you would have taken because this market closes early, and it hit this level. Hit this level 2 o'clock on Friday. Let's see. It did actually. There's 3.03, and it did actually go past. So it did actually move from that zone all the way. Um, It'd be nice if this red wasn't here. It'd be a lot easier analysis wise if this red wasn't here. But again, this spike back, this 9 a.m. on Friday really is just messes that one up. Let's see what our friends over here are doing. Apple's basically where we close on Friday. All the overnight, and then boom, we rally right back up. So nothing. Tesla having a good morning so far, right? It's above where it opened. Basically straight up this morning. So not bad for Tesla. All the indices are pretty deep in, right? Dollar, again, there's the surge, and then there's the pullback. That's what we're talking about. VIX obviously down huge, as they should be. Let's see what we got. Was there any pullbacks at the open today? No. Unfortunately, we're already above the highs with a clear run all the way up with nobody coming in until here. So yeah, here's your opening print. It was 9 o'clock was totally flat, 9:15 was totally flat, and 9:30 was totally flat. Open and close was exactly the same. It's really rare that you see that with three candles at the opening. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay, the world's not ending. Okay, so yeah, 14, 15. Again, we've been up here before. We had a strong push from that level, that 14, 17. I think 44. I'm not 14, 44. Sorry, 44.31 is probably a big area, but as far as opening print goes, it was not open, or it was not a trade today. Again, three candles sideways with no pullbacks. No, nope, nope. 9:15 red pullback. Not really a red pullback, but nine. This one is actually 9:15. We're starting to break through the top. Now, this is one of those ones you may say, okay, well, is this a short? The zone was actually formed Friday, and then it drove pretty deep at 12:45, and then we hit it again, right? You can say there's one, there's two, right? There's three. I mean, technically it's one, two, three, four. You would expect it to break, and it's really starting to base below that level, right? You're like, and then again, the green is where the 9:30 happened. So unfortunately, even if you count this as only one, not as two, right? One, two, three with a base. This is the fourth hit. It should break, and it did. It broke and went higher. This was a Harry Potter trade that never came back up. And we're kind of sitting in, when we talked about this, this is way too big of a zone to be trading off of. But that's, again, we're kind of bouncing off that now. And again, 10:30 time. Nice surge this morning. If we're going to pull back, this is where it's going to pull back from. So, yeah, I see. I see. Give me 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and then I play. So we're at a reversal, but as far as opening print goes, nothing. I got it. Go. Here, take your drink. Go ahead. I see. Green truck. Green truck. Um, YM 9:15 again. Another red one to go higher. Unfortunately, it was the pullback here. There wasn't a zone to pull back to, and now we're smashing into this top side. And this is another one of those ones. We've been here before. Whoops. Right. We've been here. Boom, boom, boom. So we knew we had something sitting in here. So right now, again, no opening print, unfortunately. There was a pullback actually at 10 o'clock. They just didn't pull back to the zone. You would have used down here. You would have missed it, right? You would have said, okay, there's your pullback level. If we can get to that level right there, right? Now you could have used, instead of using this red candle, if you would have used this red candle, then you could have said, oh, look, I did get it. Base is kind of more here. I mean, I guess you could have used that one, or actually that one. So it's the top, the bottom. I'm sorry, top, bottom, and you could have hit, but that was about as close as you could have got. So if someone did trade this one, yeah, you could have made a case for that one. Not the best of area, but it's okay. All right, Russell. So Russell did pull back. It's 9:30 was the pullback on that one. Again, not really a great pullback zone. I mean, it pulled back, but not really. I mean, honestly, this is, I think, the best zone right there to pull back to. Right? Is there a great base in here with a kind of explosion? Not really. Just a grind. It did pull back there. I mean, I guess you could have done. Did I get the green candle in there? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have tried that one and it did not break it. So maybe you traded this one at the Russell too at 9:30. It was here, but you can see the indecision, right? It was all the way up and it was all the way down. Yeah, you can see it went up first and then came down and then took off. So yeah, I mean, it was a base, right? I mean, it was a base, and this candle here, this 8:15. What is it? 7:45 to 8:15, and then the 8:30 to 9. That pop up and down is really the only movement, and it gave us a confirmation off of kind of an overnight basing. Again, we're looking for overnight basing, but it's not really the best. I'm not gonna lie, it's not really the best basing. If anything, if you traded this one, you were reaching a little bit for, but you got it. So, yeah, it's there. All right. That's it for today. We went a little bit over, but I was a little bit late. Again, the dollar is going to be the big piece of this one. We know we got buyers in here. And again, it's going to be the question of, we pulled back, all the news articles are like, we've gained versus the yen, right? We're easing, we're doing great, right? Again, a lot of profit taking. Again, we've had our opening print surge when the US market came online. And again, if it pulls back down today, I'm okay with this one. I think I think this right here, I think retail sales. Um, Again, you can see they keep forecasting low and it keeps coming in higher. They're expecting point 0.3, which is higher than the forecast last time. If this comes in at like a point 0.5, right? Maybe it's not higher than it was before, but even if it goes to a point 0.5, there was this adjustment last time. But if we come in at a point 0.5, again, that's a strong dollar move. So we see dollar weakness today. It's lining up for a strong dollar move tomorrow. So it's kind of already setting up ahead of time for where we want it to be. So I'm kind of okay with this one pulling back down again. Can we get back down into maybe this level down here at 106.05? Um, Again, there's the basing that was occurring right here. Maybe, maybe that wouldn't be the worst of areas, right? To pull back down in time for news to pop. So kind of setting up. So a lot of stuff to watch. Again, it's Monday. Trades are always a little bit more weird on Mondays. It is what it is. But there are some decent opportunities out there. You just gotta, be selective. And again, don't, you know, easiest way to say it is don't let your eyes create something that are not actually there, right? If it's not easy to see, right? If you were trying to teach it to somebody else and they're like, I can't see that, then it's probably not a good trade to take, right? A lot of things that you're like, yeah, you could potentially take this one. Again, wait for the good ones. That's the best thing I can tell you. All right, with that, let's go ahead and do our drawing. Got 5 in, 17 tickets purchased. I was like, wow, 17 seems high, but Ernest is here on Monday. Oh, I'm gonna give you guys 15 more seconds. I'm gonna go right at 5 minutes, even though obviously it's been open the whole time. So odd that it does that. It's like, huh. It like tracks it with when you're on the window. It's just so weird. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Sorry. Guy messaged me back and I was like, what are you trying to say? I was like, quad. All right. Winner of today's drawing is Nero. Nero takes a 4. Nero, did you win Friday? I feel like you won Friday too. Um, you did. So you get your 100 today, Nero. Look at that. Neuro's on a 2-day streak. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what that means for tomorrow? It means you need to spend. Although I think you won on Friday with 4 on Friday too, didn't you? Oh, it doesn't tell me how many tickets because when you win, it removes you from the player pool. Oh no, wait, there's 7 in. So yes, yeah. Look. Oh no, you did 3, right? 1, 2. Oh no, there's 5. Oh, so you only did 2. Look at that, Nero. You're getting it cheap now. You're getting it cheap, my friend. So, all right, guys. With that, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go rest my voice for tomorrow. I can already feel it starting to go out. Sorry about being a few minutes late today. Like I said, it's Monday and everybody's behind. Is what it is. So I will catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern time. See you guys then. Good trading today and have a good one.